Even the intelligent and educated layman has small and sometimes no skill in the science of law. If charged with a crime, he is incapable, generally, of determining for himself whether the indictment is good or bad. He is unfamiliar with the rules of evidence. Left without the aid of counsel, he may be put on trial without a proper charge and convicted upon incompetent evidence, irrelevant to the issue or otherwise inadmissible. He lacks both the skill and knowledge adequately to prepare his defense, even though we have a perfect one. He requires the guiding hand of counsel at every step in the proceedings against him. Without it, though he be not guilty, he faces the danger of conviction because he does not know how to establish his innocence. If that be true of men of intelligence, how much more true is it of the ignorant and illiterate, or those of feeble intellect? Hello, my name is Terrance D.Campbell. 21 years ago, I was sentenced to death in North Carolina. It took the jury a little less than 3 hours to return the verdict. Guilty on all counts. First-degree murder based on malice, premeditation, and deliberation under the felony murder rule, with robbery as the underlying felony. So I'm saddled with an attachment that says, I am a violent habitual felon. How that works is, if you have 2 prior felony convictions of a violent nature, a third conviction allows the state to throw away the key of them. It's almost like California's 3 strikes law. The jury, however, in my case, said that they found this incident not to be especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel. Yet, the unanimous decision to convict spoke volumes of my not taking the stand in this case. The state bore the burden of proving that I murdered and robbed and deserved to die for it. This wasn't a whodunit case. I wrote a lengthy, detailed statement of what occurred based on my recollection of the events. The state has never recognized that account of things. Its position has been, it's not evidence. They won't touch it. You see, the state has rights too, and there are rules that govern the types of evidence presented or found in every case. And it's what you do or don't do with those pieces of evidence that make all the difference. So after much reflection, over 20 years of it, I realized I never left my fate to the jury. The day I refused my right to take the stand and tell my story is the day I not only lost my voice, I also lost my freedom. That jury needs to hear from me, needed to know I was, with all my failings, still human. When we allow others to tell the world who we are, what we are about, what we have or have not done, or would or could or should have or have not done, our narrative of self has forever been impaired. I'm sure if you're around my age, and I won't tell you that right now, at least you've heard it said, and I paraphrase here, if you can't tell your story, someone else will. And more times than not, you won't be the hero. So the men and women introduced to you by this platform, most of whom are situated like myself, somewhat, are going to present to you parts of their stories. You, the listener, will have the opportunity to have an up-close and personal view of them, just as they are. Keep in mind, please, many are still in the appeals process and may choose not to reveal their identities at this time. But each person you hear is an actual death row inmate or otherwise had a death sentence commuted to life without or with parole eligibility, or resentenced to less time, or freed from a death sentence and now living in society. But one thing is certain, we are not actors or paid professionals. These individuals have spent years quietly finding their voices. Some, you will learn, have had speaking engagements already with colleges and universities across the nation. Many have had their words and writings published in well-respected newspapers and magazines and other news outlets, and even published poetry, produced paintings, generated song recordings, and constructed essays and books that are making noise in literary circles in their states and on the national level. Each has had a measure of success in transforming his or her life, also in the areas that enable them to be responsible, accountable, and they push to excel in the work of restorative reform, whether it's in the fields of justice, incarceration, or our society at large. We must remember the prison too is a part of our societies. And this podcast is unlike any you are used to, being one of the first of its kind. So please listen intently to the speakers, and of course, your host, Valerie Cartonio. She will be your guide through these stories and share her insight with you, keeping you tuned in to the podcast and eagerly awaiting the next episode. Thank you. Again, my name is Terrance Campbell. I'm here in Raleigh, North Carolina, on death row. This is a real situation. This is not a situation where you will find anywhere else in the nation. Thank you.